Well, hello everyone. Happy Thursday and welcome to Elegant Sentiments Today. I'm Cheryl Abernathy, the owner of Elegant Sentiments, and this is our weekly card share number 50. So thank you so much for stopping by. If you're watching live, thank you. And for those that will be watching the replay, I thank you for watching as well. So today, as you see, we've got some lovely Lisa Horton products that we're sharing. This particular product is one of new release for this week. These are, she released just today some new products, some layering dies and some paper. So we're going to use some of those products today. The first product is the Magnolia Layering Die. So that's one of the set of, I think there are 4 of those new layering die sets. And I'm going to be using the nested stitched bubble ovals. And here is another of the layering dies. This one is the Fantasy Bloom. And we're just going to be using one little piece out of that die set. And we've got the Weave 3D embossing folder and her new papers. So if you are interested, I won't take the time to go through all of those papers, but on Lisa Horton's website, YouTube channel, Claire did a beautiful video. Lisa did a show today, got tons and tons of detail about these products, and hop on over there and see those at your leisure. And then I'm using 2 of her inks, the opaque white and the spiced plum. So those are the products that we're going to be using, and get those out of the way, and I'll show you the product or the project that we're doing. I'm going to modify it just a little bit, but this is the project. So we'll go ahead and put that there. Oh, let me move it over here. I always have trouble figuring out where to put this. Okay, so we're going to put it right there. We'll just let it sit there. And to get started, the first thing I want to do is emboss. I've done some of the work, a lot of the work up front actually, but the first thing, we do have a little bit of work to do. The first thing I've got is, this is a sheet of the splash paper, the new splash paper, and this is 4 1/4 by 4 by 5 1/4, and we're going to emboss this using the basket or the Weave embossing folder as soon as I can open it. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, so we've got that, and we're going to go ahead and emboss this. We'll just stick it in there and emboss it like that. And I'll be off camera just a second and emboss this. And then this is going to be the backdrop for our card. So you see the detail there? Nice. And so what I'm going to do is take the opaque white pigment ink and just brush that across the embossed panel to get just a little bit. Don't need a whole lot, but just a little bit there on some of those weave, some of that basket weave. I'm trying to get my fingers not in the middle of the ink. Let's see. I think I got most of them. Do one couple this way. I'd really like to make sure they're all going in the same direction when I do this. So I'll just keep turning it till I get enough ink on there. Don't need a lot, but I do want to be able to see it. So I think that's, do a little bit more on this side. I probably could have stood to ink my pad a little bit before I got started, but so we're going to move that over and let that dry. And let me bring in a little cloth here and get that ink up. Hi, Debbie. I'm glad to see you. I hope you're doing well. Okay, so there's that. And then I've done, like I said, a little bit of work ahead of time. So this is an A2 card base in a white cardstock. And let me get some of this out of the way. Then I have just a plain panel of green paper. This paper is in the Splash collection. So we'll put that on. And I've taken a piece of vellum and one of the nested bubble ovals and die cut this vellum using that. And then I have all the little flower pieces. So I cut this out of that same green and I put some white, I die cut it twice with white card, some just plain white cardstock and the Splash cardstock. And I didn't do that with my sample. And because I have my flowers on foam squares, I had a really tricky time making sure that those pieces stayed stable. So to prevent that, if you're going to do it this way, be sure to double up that piece. It'll just give it a little more sturdiness behind it. And so for this card, instead of using the colored cardstock I used for this, I used more of the Splash and just inked some of the tips. For this card, I used white cardstock and I put all the pieces together and glued them. And then I took the spiced plum ink and a small brush and I just inked more darker at the base and lighter going out for all of the pieces after I got them together. And you can kind of decide what works best for you. Some people like to ink them up and then put them together, but that worked out best for me. And I want to point out something. When you look at these dies, the way Lisa put them together is really ingenious. So this piece cuts out all of the pieces that you need for this flower, and they're layered. There's the base layer, 1 layer, 2 layer, 3 layer, 4 layers. So you just layer them on top of each other that way. So that's the one flower. Then there's this flower, and it's these 2 pieces, and they're layered on top of each other. Get that around there so you can see it. And so that's this one. And of course, that's the leaf. And this little baby one right here, the layer, this little, I call it, looks like a little, what do you call it, boomerang. That little piece layers on top of this one. And then this one is these 2 pieces. So you have the bigger piece and then the smaller piece layers on top of it like that. So they're really easy to layer. No real thinking required to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4 flowers, and you're done. So that's how we did that. Again, I die cut this in white cardstock and then inked it up with a little bit of Spice Plum ink, and we were done there. Now for the butterfly, this one, let's see. Here's the little butterfly I'm going to use. I was thinking about layering the butterfly. This, excuse me, this is from the Fantasy Blooms. And I'm not sure if I'm going to layer it or not, but let me show you this one as well. So I just took, there's 3 different sizes flowers. I took the smallest flower and I die cut, and I took this piece and this teeny little piece here. So this little piece, and then I glued them together, and then I haven't decided, I didn't glue this piece on, but it's this one. So you cut this twice, obviously, and then I cut it a 3rd time because I wanted different colors. So that's why it looks like that. But or twice rather. no, 3 times, because you gotta do one for each side, and then I wanted to get the separate one. So that's how I got that little butterfly. So it's really, really nice. They show on the front, they've got they actually made a butterfly with the whole flower, or you can make a butterfly the way that I did here. So that's from the Fantasy Blooms. That's that little butterfly. And then of course I have my sentiment that I hot foiled, and a little ribbon for the flower stem. So really now I've given my paper time enough to dry, and we're going to go ahead and adhere this panel to the piece of splash solid color paper that we have. Real easy peasy. Move this out of the way. We have just a teeny bit of white on there, which is okay, but it's enough to do what I wanted. I didn't want the full whitewashed look. I just wanted a little bit of white. Okay, so we have, trying to get that straight, and the green on the green. That looks pretty decent there. So we'll go ahead and give that a burnish. And we'll add this to our card base. I hope everybody's having a good week. It's almost over. Time for the fun weekend. It's gorgeous weather here today in Ohio. I'm loving it. Sunny and warm, but not blazing hot like it has been. So it's been really nice. Okay. I got that up a little bit too high. Oops. Got slippy fingers today. Okay. There we go. Okay, so we'll put this aside. Well, yeah, nope, I'm gonna wait because so the next thing I wanted to do is adhere the flowers to the stem. Now, if you don't know how they're supposed to go, this picture, just look at the picture on the front of the packaging, and it's real easy. So the magnolia, we know, goes over here. And what you could do, if you wanted to take the time to do it, which I didn't, you can actually stick this stem a little bit up into these different layers, but it is absolutely not necessary. And so I just wanted just put it just a little bit on top of the flower base, for lack of a better word. So I just put a drop of glue there, and then take the flower stem and stick it on there where it belongs. And just want to give it a second or two to grab. And oops, let's see, am I putting that in the wrong spot? Yes, I'm putting it in the wrong spot because I want it more like that. And then just do that all the way around. The next one we need is, this guy goes here, and this one goes here. So we'll put our little dots of glue and move it up onto the flower's base. Let me get that turned right. There we go. And you'll see where the stem of the flower needs to go because of the shape of the base. She really thought of everything when she did this. Okay, so then we're on to the next one. Just a little dab of glue. Oh no, blazing hot weather, Debbie. I'm sorry. Yeah, we've had that. That's been our whole summer. It seems like blazing hot, but we actually today was gorgeous. And I'll take a dozen more of these before we get to the cooler weather. Okay, and then the last little one is this one. And just a teeny bit of, and when you're doing these flowers, it's really good to have, when you're creating them and trying to layer them together, because they're small pieces, it's really nice. You'll need a take your pick tool or something like this that'll really pick up those pieces for you. So we have that. And so there's our flower. And so we want to figure out how we want to put this on the oval. I know that we want the flowers raised, and then we got to make room for our sentiment. And it's okay if it hangs off a little bit from the side, because it's going to, because this takes up quite a bit of our space. And that looks pretty decent to me. So what we'll do is go ahead and put some foam on the back of this piece, and then we'll put it down. And when I go to put it down, you'll see when I didn't have the double pieces on that flower stem, it was flopping everywhere because of the weight of the flowers themselves. And it would have been a great comedy video to watch me trying to put that down. When I made that card yesterday, it was pretty hilarious, but I got it on there. Okay. And so I'll go ahead and take these off. And I think I want a little teeny piece on this one too. So cut a piece of that and put it on this one. I was gonna let it slide, but I think I want it on there just to be safe. Get that off of there. And this little guy. And I think that's everybody. Okay. So we got those off, and then we'll just flip it over. And because we've got double, it's so much easier to work with, trust me. So that's a step. If you do it this way, that's a step you really don't want to skip, because it'll make your life so much better. So we have that on there like that. And I think what I'll do now to add this to the front, I just put foam squares behind the flowers so that they're not visible. So this one is going to have a lot of dimension to it. So you want to keep that in mind when you're trying to decide if you're going to mail. You may want to not use the dimension on the back, or you may not want to use the dimension on the front. I think that's good enough, because we just want to make sure that this will adhere, and with what we've got, I think that'll do the trick. How did you get your hot foil system going, Debbie? Oh, thank you, Debbie. Let's see here. Okay. All right. So now we'll just go ahead and put this in the center like that. And then we'll take our sentiment, and I'll just put some glue on about 2/3 of it on the back and put that where I want it. think right about there is good. You can still see the leaves and you can still see the letter. And then we'll take our little butterfly. Now here, I couldn't decide if I wanted to do the 2-winged butterfly or just 1 wing. I don't know. That's kind of what it would look like with 2 wings. And then this is what it would look like with 1 wing. What do you guys think? I think two wings looks a little cuter to me. I don't know why. Any thoughts, any feedback before I glue this down? So here's 2 wings. And then here's the single. Guess it doesn't matter. They both go the same. I like it with 2, so I'm gonna go with the 2, I think. So I'll just put again. So I die cut those pieces out of this same paper, and I overlapped them right there, just in the center, and made the wings. And then I'm going to. And that's the same thing I did for the other 2 pieces to make this wing. Give that a second to dry, and then I'll fluff those up before I put it on the card. And then that little teeny piece is part of the die too, so I'm just going to fluff up both of these a little bit, just a teeny weeny bit with my fingers. And then I'll put some, then I'll put some glue back here. Okay, thanks, Debbie. I thought the 2 wings looked better too for this one. Just seemed to work a little bit better. So I'm gonna lift this up and put that right about there. And I might, I don't know, I might eventually go back and put, if I mail this, I'm going to put another little foam square just underneath there so that it's undone. And then the last piece that we need to do for this guy, I'll put this stuff away, is to add our bow. I just had some white craft ribbon that I got from, I think I got that from Amazon. I've had that ribbon for, it's got to be at least 4 years. I mean, I've had it for a really long time. So it was well worth the, see, which way is my bow going? Yeah, here we go. So I'll put some glue on the back of this. And stick it down here on this ribbon, on this leaf stem. And just wing prop back up again. There we go. So there are 2 versions of the same card, a couple different ways to do those flower buds, and that is today's project. And let me put it down in camera view so you can actually see it. So I thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you liked the project, and I hope that you have a fantastic week. I look forward to sharing another card with you next Thursday. But in the meantime and in between time, have yourself a wonderful week. And remember to craft a little kindness and live graciously. And we will see you the next time. Have a beautiful week. Bye for now.